Have you ever worked with a partner on a project and thought that you should basically be spending all of your time with them in the same room? Or have you been in a project situation where there were so many frustrations that seemed to outweigh the benefits that you just skipped all interactions completely? Astrology is a great tool for understanding how and when to work together and when you should each be doing your own thing. In a previous video, I talked about what opportunities Kamala Harris and Donald Trump have this week, August 18th to the 25th, as individuals, and how they can make the most of the energies that are going on. Now, let's take a look at the opportunities they have as part of a team with their running mates. One of the biggest energies that both teams can take advantage of is that Mars moving through the Jupiter portal for both of them. And this is committing to the expansion of their awareness, meaning more exchange of ideas, more communication, more getting their ideas out to the world to let them know what their administrations would do. So for Team Harris, notice that this Jupiter portal, their expansion is in both their 10th and 11th houses or areas of life, meaning that their expansion as a team is both through making an impact through their ideas and also in terms of bringing people on board with being aware of their ideas. So bringing awareness to people who may not have been knowledgeable, say, about what they're trying to do. And so they have the opportunity, especially this week, to put their hearts, put their commitment into getting more people to hear what they have to say. For the Trump team, however, their growth is only within that 10th house. So the expansion is only in terms of making the impact, only in terms of more and more ideas. So the growth in the groups of people who become aware of them is not there until after this Jupiter portal is open, which means the key is getting the people who already know about what they are going to do with their administration to vote. There is no expanding at this point in terms of the groups coming on board. The other thing to pay attention to is the Mercury retrograde that is going on, and it's in Leo all week. And with the Democratic convention going on, Team Harris is having this fantastic opportunity to figure out what gets people on the same page. What does everyone seem to love? They can experiment a little bit with, because the sun is still moving through this portal, of what is it that maybe people might like. Let's get some feedback on that. And the convention is a great place to be able to test this at a very wide, with a very big audience. And so I would encourage them to experiment a bit. With the Trump-Vance chart, they are also spending a lot of time thinking about how to get their people on the same page and getting them fired up. And again, it will be about getting the right people in front of them to be excited about what it is they're offering. And again, the key is, are they talking about the ideas that they have for their administration that will enable them to get people on board and excited about the future? Well, the next to last thing that they can also get out of this week is great feedback on how they are doing. Because Venus is moving through Virgo opposite this Saturn portal in both charts. And notice that for both of them, this is all about how they are doing as a team. Now, with the Harris team, they are getting feedback on how they are doing everything they can to get things right. And not only that, there is also this need as a team to sense the feelings in the room. And Pisces is an energy that both Kamala and Tim are familiar with. So the key thing for them is to trust what they feel as a team when they are in the same room with people, and recognize that if they were alone, they wouldn't feel the same thing, but they need to be together and sense what is going on here and really get on board with that with each other. For the Trump team, as Venus is moving through Virgo over here, across from that Saturn portal where they are getting feedback from their dream team about how they are doing, the feedback might be a little hard. And here's why. Saturn here is in Virgo for them as a team. In other words, it is finding that discernment about how to get things right and what is needed to be perfect for this team to win. And so this is not an energy that Donald is familiar with. And this is also a tough one for JD because this is at a degree where he doesn't have a tool. Remember that his experience of life is that he's a good initiator and a good closer, but when it comes to doing the day-to-day, he's got no tools. He usually hands that off to other people to get things done, and then he can come in and clean up. But this is going to be difficult for both of them to deal with together and get that feedback about, hey guys, this is what you need to do. And to listen will be something that might be hard for them individually. Similarly, this Pluto in Virgo, doing everything they can to get things right and hone things into perfection, will have the same problems because neither one of them is used to doing that. And they may feel like, boy, when I'm with you, I am feeling like I'm never doing anything right. But the key is, if they're the ticket and they want to win, this is the feedback they need to hear and actually work on doing. And finally, the last thing that they can work on is this energy of Jupiter being at 17 degrees, steadily moving through that all week in Gemini. And this is touching tools for both teams. Let's take a look. With the Harris team, they've got Neptune in Scorpio and Moon in Pisces. And what this means is that in order to get the most growth, they can feel the person that they are with. When they're together with one other person, they know what that person is feeling or thinking. And so if they can get the right people in the room, not meet with the same person twice, they will have this opportunity to get as much information in as possible to know where they should grow their ideas. Similarly, with that Moon in Pisces, that primal instinct to sense the feelings in the room, the more they meet with different groups over this week, the more opportunity they have to know which ideas they need to be bringing onto their platform so that they have a full smorgasbord of things to choose from as they narrow down what they want to do. One of the things I mentioned in the last video is that Kamala has Venus in Virgo in that 17-degree range. So individually, she's getting a lot of pats on the back. You're doing a great job. Keep going. But with Tim, she has an ability to sense what people are thinking and how she should move forward. And that is the benefit of being with Tim versus being on her own. With Team Trump, notice that they have one tool, also Neptune in Scorpio, in that 17-degree range. And so when they are together, when they are invite someone else in the room, they can sense what that person is thinking. And that may be uncomfortable if that person is giving them advice that one of them doesn't like or both of them don't like. And they become aware of this only when they're together. So what the choice is for each of them individually is whether they choose to do that work, to be together, to hear the honest feedback, to know what it is they need to do to expand their awareness to get things right. And remember that in my previous video, Donald had 2 other tools in this range on his own, and they were helpful for him to expand and to get unique ideas. So if he decides that that is more comfortable for him than hearing what other people have to say that he doesn't like, then he may exclude J.D. Vance from any conversations so that he can just ignore that and focus on himself. But for the team to win, this is what they need to work on. So it's really, as I say, free choice on how they move forward. So there you have it. As teams, the opportunities are different than for the individual candidates, Kamala and Donald. And with Tim, Kamala seems to have a little bit more wind in her sails, a little bit of a tailwind to make some progress this week. Donald has the same opportunity, but it will require him to be a little more coachable and to really trust his teammate and deal with the feedback that they get in order to move forward as a team. So we'll see what happens. It's all up to them. And if you would like to harness astrology for your own relationships, whether work or family or anything else, just check out the caption below. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate any and all feedback, and I'll see you next time.